In an age overflowing with information, one young woman from China chose the slowest path and quietly found herself on the world's fastest stage. Her video contains no narration, no subtitles, yet somehow people all over the world understand her. Some say she romanticized rural life. Some say she's a soft power icon. Others call her the embodiment of the Eastern aesthetic living. But she simply says, I'm just filming the life I love. She is Li Ziqi, a girl who rose from the mud and quiet corner of the countryside and become a symbol that transcends language and culture. In this episode of Sino Portrait, we will follow her journey from cocoon to butterfly. In the summer of 1990, deep in the mountains of Pingwu County, Sichuan, a baby girl was born. Her name was Li Jiajia. Through the world would later come to learn her as Li Ziqi. Her childhood was far from fairy tale. At a young age, her parents left, and it was her grandparents who gave her a sense of home. Her grandfather was both a village chief and a craftsman. By his wooden-fired stove, she learned the warmth of the real flame and know how to make the most of every detail. Maybe, while weaving bamboo basket, he'd talk about exploitation of the works of nature. And when shaping clay into pottery, he'd say, this is a conversation between earth and fire. Back then, these were simply skills for survival. But quietly, those fragments of tradition plant the first seeds of her creativity. In 5th grade, she lost her grandfather. Luckily, some kind-hearted people stepped in and helped her stay in school. But by the time she was 14, the burden of reality caught up. She dropped out and left home, heading to Chengdu to find work. Hot pot kitchen thick with oil and smoke. Neon lights flickering outside the nightclub, like countless drifting teenagers. She struggled on the edge of the city. In the beginning, she slept on the park benches. For 2 straight months, she lived on plain steam buns. She earned 300 yuan a month, took home 200. And even then, she gave part of it to help child back in her village go to school. Because, she said, when I was at my lowest, many small, warm lights light up my world. I remember that light, and I want to pass it on. By 2009, at 19, she had taught herself music theory and become bar DJ. Dressed in a striking red suit, she spun records, a sharp contrast to the poster image people now associate with her. When asked if she chose music because she loved it, she smiled and replied, "It pays a little more." In 2012, when her grandmother fell seriously ill, she made the decision to return home to get by. She sold clothes at street stalls and later opened a small Taobao shop. Then, one suggestion changed everything. Her younger brother said, "Sis, why don't you try making videos?" And so, in 2015, her very first video, Peach Blossom 1, went online. Blurry footage, raw cuts, it doesn't catch much attention. She posted more, including some humorous skits, mimicking TV drama. One day, on her social media, she uploaded a photo of herself and wrote a simple caption to encourage herself. As long as I have tried, there will be no regrets. Refusing to give up, she sought out a mentor and began learning everything she could about video production and editing. In April 2016, Li Ziqi uploaded Cherry Wine to the Meipai platform. Its unique style, ancient aesthetic, slow living, poetic simplicity, caught the eye of Meipai CEO. The video was featured on the front page and gained over 5 million views, marking her first taste of public attention. That same September, she signed with an MCN company in Hangzhou called Weinian, officially stepping into professional content creation. Back then, the team was just 3 people. Her uncle ran the camera, and she handled almost everything else: concept, shooting, editing, and appearing on the screen. She carried the entire creative process on her own. In November 2016, for a video on In April 2017, she released this wing, from chopped down trees to building the wooden frame and hands weaving the seat. Every step was shown. It reaches 80 million views and the future cemented her image as a living encyclopedia of traditional Chinese life. Works like Dyeing Clothes and Bruising Through the Season continued this same, presenting traditional Chinese craftsmanship in a poetic, visual language that redefines the rural life and reconnect the audience with feeding cultural roots. Starting 2017, she began sharing her video on YouTube. In 2018, she became the first Chinese language creator to surpass 1 million YouTube subscribers, officially entering the global stage. That same year, she partnered with Weinian to launch the Li Ziqi Tianmao shop, which generated 71 million yuan in annual sales. But 2018 also brought the first sign of conflict. Weinian registered Li Ziqi trademark under the company's name, not hers. In 2019, she was appointed as Chengdu Intangible Cultural Heritage Ambassador, and her personal influence continued to grow. But the tensions with Weinian deepened. She held only 49% of shares, while Weinian controlled 51%. And with it, the business decisions. She wants to preserve the cultural integrity and the creative independence of her work. Weinian, meanwhile, pushed for brand expansion, turning her name into packaged products like instant 螺蛳粉 noodle. The friction between creator and capital had begun. By 2020, her name was known around the world. She was called the girl who tells stories with earth and fire. But behind the scenes, a quiet battle had begun over a simple question: who is Li Ziqi? In July 2021, after posting the final episode of her series Salt, Oil, Sauce, Vinegar, Tea, she suddenly went silent. In October 2021, Li Ziqi filed a lawsuit against Weinian and its founder, Liu Tongming. She accused them of trademark abuse, unfair profit distribution, and unethical competition. The legal battle involves key issues: ownership of the Li Ziqi brand, copyrights of her videos, and the controls over her social media platform. The lawsuit stirred national debate and exposed just how creators can be within China's booming MSN industry. Finally, on December 26, 2022, after over a year of legal wrangling, a settlement was reached in court. Control of the Li Ziqi brand officially returned to her, her ownership stake rose to 99%. Vinyas stepped back, retaining just 1%, and the exclusive long-term rights to sell food products like luosifen. The case was hailed as a landmark victory for creator rights. Some even called it the beginning of the Li Ziqi clause. Now, referenced in many content partnership contracts as a way to protect creative ownership in the MCN world. In July 2021, after releasing the final episode, Li Ziqi suddenly stopped updating. Shortly after, her Weibo account was frozen, and speculation swelled. But she didn't vanish into crowd, nor did she abandon her creative mission. Instead, she set out on a journey, one that was more grounded, more real, and more connected to the soil beneath her feet. Over the next 2 years, she traveled across more than 20 provinces in China. In Chengdu, she studied gold painting techniques in lacquer workshop. In Wenzhou, she visited one of the last remaining wooden log printing shop. In Yangzhou, she learned the delicate art of velvet flowers from a national craft master. But she wasn't just a passive observer. She got her hands dirty. In Inner Mongolia, she works side by side with local farmers, choosing fertilizers and mapping out crops. In a remote southwestern village, she helped design packaging for handmade crafts, bringing new life to the local economy. Through it all, she was quietly asking and answering a powerful question. Is a creator's value only defined by views and platform? Beyond her exploration of the heritage, she poured more energy into public welfare and social action. She donated 100 computers in 9 elementary schools in Beichuan, Sichuan province. She built new libraries for 3 rural schools, with thousands of books for the students. During the pandemic, she quietly sent emergency medical supplies to hospitals in need. No fanfare, no headlines. She was no longer just the girl on the screen, during one or Garen Luter's battles. She had become a bridge, connecting the urban and the rural, the modern and the traditional. Away from the lens, she also returned to life itself. She spent time traveling with her aging grandmother, trying new foods, making up for the years lost to the work and distance. And during this time, she made an important decision. She legally changed her name from Li Jiajia to Li Ziqi. It wasn't just a name change. It was a passing of the torch. From the digital persona she had created to the woman she had become. From influencer to documentarian. From content creator to cultural storyteller. From a symbol of aesthetics to a force rooted in land, craft, and compassion. In September 2023, at the China Farmers Harvest Festival, she made a quiet return to public life. She was appointed Vice President of the Sichuan Provincial Association for Online Representatives. Once again, affirming her dedication to rural revitalization and cultural preservation. Today, Li Ziqi is no longer just the name of the video channel. It's a symbol, a version, a bridge between land and people, tradition and future, story and soul. In 2024, Li Ziqi returned. After 3 years of silence, she stepped back in front of the camera, not for the spotlight, but for the quiet crafts and the stories buried in time and soil. She returned to Chengdu, to her Serena lacquer workshop, where she studied the ancient technique of craft lacquer inlay under National Intangible Heritage Master Li Ziqi. With her own hands, she made a wardrobe for her grandmother, painting with golden qilin, and named it auspicious energy from the east, a gift from the heart, and a tribute to both tradition and love. Next, she wandered into mountains, where she turned into stalks of bamboo into inspiration, building a walk-in wardrobe hidden in a sea of wildflowers. Outside, birds and stars. Inside, furniture and tiny details, all woven by her hands. It was a dream of her youth, now made real, an expression of what it means to live with poetry. She traveled deep into autumn mountains of Wangnao, where she spun silk, dyed fabric with plants, and wove a dress that blended through brocade, velvet flowers, and heritage craftsmanship. In a quiet valley, she played the piano and softly sung, "As You Wish." "Thank you for always being there," she whispered, not with grandeur, but with grace. Li Ziqi's return isn't just a comeback of a content creator, it's the evolution of a storyteller. As the leader of New Heritage Preservation Initiative, she is helping protect the rural culture from within. Through cultural tourism and e-commerce, she is bridging the old and the new. And above all, as a creator, true to her roots. She continues to tell the story between people and the land they belong to. Controversy has never really left her. Some say she romanticizes life too much. Others claim she turns away from reality. But she responds not with words. She responds through action. In her videos, poverty alleviation products quietly appear. Obscure tradition crafts, thanks to her, find their ways into global supply chain. Some call her a translator of culture through empathy. Others describe her work as a visual epic of algorithm civilization. She doesn't shout slogans. Instead, she uses a way of life to deliver the softest, yet the most powerful form of cultural expression. From a girl who dropped out of school to a cultural symbol, Li Ziqi isn't a legend. She's someone who walks the paths of preserve, break, and transcend. Preserve the roots of traditional crafts. Break through the constraint of capital. Step outside the comfort zone to create new value. She makes us believe a camera doesn't just record life. It connects us with the past and reflects the future. Perhaps it's this enduring, understand affection that gives Li Ziqi's work its warmth. The kind of warmth that stays with you long after the video ends. That is Li Ziqi. Everyone has a story worth telling. This is Sino Portrait. See you next time.